Pizza time, pizza time. Pizza time. Pizza time, pizza time. Pizza time.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the latest episode of the slowest growing Battlebots podcast in all of creation. I am your never popular host, Jack Finney, and across from me on the other side of the world is the world's greatest authority on beach cricket, curator of the largest collection of EV plushes this side of Tweed Heads, and the man you can always rely on to alert you to the existence of a new suggestive anime figurine, Makon Crayley the Mac. How you doing today, my dude?
Wait, what? Wait, hang on. Like, what? Hang on. First of all,
You heard it there, everybody. I've left him completely and utterly speechless.
I don't even know what. I don't know how to no sell you this time because what?
Max finally at a loss for words, everybody. I'm calling that a win on this episode as we cover the return of Hydra's Revenge 2, The Reckoning. But first, we'll be covering a real pizza to action in this. With the opening of this episode.
Oh yes,
man.
We've got Ripperoni challenging Endgame for the V2 lineal title.
Yes. Right, there was a massive big fight feel going into this episode as there were real tangible stakes to be found in this episode. But I think that we can say that the very first fight of the night, Ripperoni versus Endgame, was definitely a fight that over-delivered and not DiGiorno'd.
Yeah, this was a ripper of a fight. Endgame started off the fight. Actually, no, before we get to the actual fight, the entrances, because Ripperoni's entrance was amazing.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Mac, take it away for us on it.
Okay, I didn't actually write down what it was, because it was... Oh, yeah, that's right, it was, yeah, so on the fucking box, they had, they had the note of the fucking...
Kiwi flavored pizza with sunglasses for the name.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And
they came out boasting a far superior fork configuration to Endgame's as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, true.
As we will see in due course.
Oh god, yeah. Was there anything else about the entrance?
Well, Ethan Kurtz was on commentary for this fight. He was actually pretty analytical leading in and fairly analytical throughout the fight. And honestly, this was the most likable he's ever been. But that's neither here nor there right now. Endgame came out and had their little intro, and we discovered that they eat pizza with a fork.
Oh, what about the heels?
Endgame, they are known for their forks, aren't they?
Yeah, they do. These boys do love their forks, and oh boy, did that bite them in the fucking ass.
I mean, I'm going to stress this now. Anybody who eats pizza with a fork, they're dead to me.
Oh, Jack, you need to go fork yourself.
Oh, well, we saw that it ultimately was Endgame who forked themselves in all of this. Because as they described in the post-match, they tried to box rush right out of the gate, and those cartoonishly long forks immediately got jammed in the kill soul slot.
Yeah, the Endgame, practically indestructible by most standards. Their one weakness is always just their forks getting in the way of the battle box. I think
and the fight was over there and then if Ripperoni wanted it to be, because Endgame had no way out of that. There was no way they were going to be able to free themselves. But Ripperoni, knowing that the selection committee was watching and the fact that they themselves came to fight, came over and rather charitably freed Endgame, didn't they?
Yeah,
by hitting them with a massive pizza shot.
Yeah. Oh, hell, they just blasted him with the fucking ravioli.
Oh yes. Oh man, they just left them like a big like cutting off pieces of pepperoni with every hit. Because Ripperoni hitting massive shots with this to the point that they completely warped Endgame's frame to the point that that frame had to be written off.
Ooh.
Endgame took massive damage in this. Ripperoni ripped off forks. They they completely buckled the frame, and ultimately, although this was a near thing because Endgame, to their credit, did still manage to put up an excellent fight back and nearly immobilized Ripperoni themselves, ultimately it was Endgame who died first.
Yeah.
Now, let's be real here. Ripperoni, they got an absolutely massive stroke of luck by Endgame getting stuck in the kill source slots, but credit where it is due. They came to fight, they freed them, and they are one of the only robots to immobilize Endgame through damage. Like, how many other people have done that, Mac? We got Bite Force. Bite Force KO'd them.
Bite Force,
but other than Bite Force, Minotaur?
I think Minotaur, yeah.
Like, have they lost to anybody else by KO for anything other than, like, getting flipped over?
Give me 1 second. Live checking at the moment. But yeah, like, this was a really good fight. I had, like, yeah, big upset too, like, fucking hell.
Absolutely massive upset. This is the type of upset that we haven't seen since Chomp defeated Bite Force.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, let's see. It's lost a few matches by KO, but, like, I can't really say, like, because it lost to okay, so it's lost to Bite Force, it lost to, like, it lost to Freeway against Brutus and Warhawk, but I don't know how that went. Oh, lost to, Son of Waiatsu. Like, KO.
Yes.
See, it lost to, Death Roll, Ribber, Minotaur, in, like, Season 4. Well, yeah, World Champion 4.
Yeah, my recall, everybody, is not quite what it used to be. Thank you very much, long-term brain fog from COVID and everything.
Yeah, Bloodsport in Season 5. And then Minotaur last season.
In any case, this is definitely the biggest upset in Battlebots history, modern day, behind Chomp versus Bite Force, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Oh wait, the Minotaur lost was the Justice Season, actually. But yeah.
In any case, awesome victory for Ripperoni and a massive feather in the cap of the rookie team here.
Yeah, this is a massive
like
win.
I was saying earlier, Mac, this was a fight that definitely delivered, not DiGiorno. Endgame wanted a pizza to action, but they bit off more than they could chew. Ripperoni just couldn't be topped in this fight, and they really stuffed Endgame's crust. And in the end, we saw for certain Endgame just couldn't out Pizza the Hut.
I don't like pizza. I have a shout out to new friends of the podcast, Ripperoni.
Yep. And the real moral of this, the lesson that you can really take away from this fight, one that applies to real life as well as BattleBots: don't eat pizza with a fork!
Yep, Endgame tried to do that, and they lost. They lost hard.
Anyway, yes, shout out to Ripperoni on this one, and thank you for taking the time to comment on our podcast. We really appreciate it when the builders do so. So, welcome to the club of friends of the podcast alongside Jake Ewer.
Yeah,
we love you, Jake.
We will never doubt you guys ever again. Even though it was Jack doubting you.
On that note, while we're addressing comments on the podcast, I would like to extend a formal apology for my comments to the Doomba team. I realize I was overly harsh with them, and especially considering the post-fight breakdown of everything and how Doomba was never intended to actually fight a spinner as well. I would just like to apologize to the Doomba team for my comments as a result.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, moving on. Right, so Mac, moving on to the next fight, we have Switchback versus Deathroll, and they went out of their way to really highlight Deathroll's age here as a machine that sat in a box for the better part of 2 years, and they kind of gave them a loss in regards to their out for their loss to Cobalt, as well as highlighting the fact that Deathroll isn't really configured to have a ground game either, and that it's all weapon all the time.
I mean, yeah, true. Like, I mean, that's not a terrible way to design it, but, like, at the same time, like, having a ground game's important, so, like, hopefully they take a lesson from that, from this whole experience.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
In any case, my notes for this fight: Switchback is gonna die. He dead. Death Roll is back.
Yep. Death Roll lives. Switchback don't.
Yeah, Switchback got its ass reamed out in this fight.
It did, like, cause it was pretty much, it was all like, it was just all Death Roll, like pretty much the entire fight.
Yeah. Switchback had no answer for anything that Death Roll threw at it. Death Roll just straight up beat its ass.
Yeah, and then
from start to finish.
And that last hit was fucking excellent.
Oh yeah, it was a nice little squash match here as we got to see once again what Death Roll is capable of. Hopefully they can retain that. Hopefully they can maintain this momentum as well, and hopefully that the loss to Cobalt was a one and done.
I mean, hopefully, because hopefully that was just them getting the jitters out, you know, because like they hadn't competed for like 2 years. Like they needed to shake off the rust, and like even if it was a loss to fucking Cobalt, and like that's rust getting taken out, and now they're gonna just kill it.
In any case, yeah, nice little squash match, and fingers crossed. Hopefully, Death Roll maintains its momentum. Up next, we had Hijinks versus Captain Shredderator.
And up next, we have Rotator versus Jackpot. This was okay. So this match fucking sucked. Like,
yeah, it was a slow goings type of match. Hijinks initially starting out on top, managing to, it seems, stop Captain Shredderator's spinner, but not permanently, it seems. As Shredderator ultimately managed to mount a surprise comeback. Hijinks seemed to lose its own propeller blade at various points as well, and while it was using its rear wedge to good effect, Shredderator came back, hit them hard, and managed to immobilize them. I would talk about any highlights, but let's be honest, there weren't really any here. I'm not hating on either team in this like you are, Mac. But I will say I do feel both. I feel that Shredderator's time has passed, and I would argue that Hijinks has too. This is not me saying that I don't want to see either team still in the sport. I love both teams as people, but I really would like to see them build a new machine each if possible, like or at the very least a new design. I'd love to see that because they're great veteran builders, and you know they always put on entertaining shows. But I'd really like to see them try something else at this point.
Yeah, okay, so a lot of my hate for like Captain Shredder is it's not like legitimate hate, like it's just I don't know how to describe it, but like yeah, like the game's kind of past both of these robots play, and this the fact that this match was so sad is just like sort of an example of that.
Yeah, it's like I'm not trying to be an armchair builder or anything. I know how difficult it is to build a machine, hence why I've never managed to successfully build one myself. And I'm not trying to like be overly harsh on either team on this, but I really would like to see them attempt a new design at this point, because unfortunately in the current meta it doesn't really seem like either of these designs is still viable, and I feel like a different design from each of them would hopefully make for some more entertaining fights, because we know that they can both deliver when they want, when the time comes, but as it stands, they haven't been having the most entertaining fights these last few seasons, a couple of exceptions aside.
Yeah, even if they keep the robots, but like, I don't know, make a change to them that like makes sense with how everything is right now. Because Kraken was pretty much the exact same way, and then it changed, and now it's the killer again.
Well, I would say that Kraken was always entertaining, even with its negative win-loss ratio.
I mean, true. I mean, I love Kraken, but even when it was losing, but still, they knew that it had to change, and they changed it. Because Hijinks has basically been the exact same robot for a few years now, and Captain Shredderator, quite literally the same robot for the past few years. So
yeah.
So something needs to give.
One of my other notes here, Kenny is very blunt this season, isn't he?
Oh, he is just shooting from the fucking hip this season, and I love it.
In any case, well done to Captain Shredderator for getting the win, but yeah, wasn't the most entertaining fight. hopefully we'll see some more good stuff from these teams in the future.
Hopefully.
In any case, moving on, Rotator versus Jackpot, a great fight on paper and a great rematch at the very least, hypothetically. We saw these two compete against each other in the past. Rotator was the one who walked away with the win on that occasion, wasn't it, Mac?
I believe so, yes.
And like I said, great rematch hypothetically on paper. Jackpot ended up drawing first blood in regards to the weapon-to-weapon hits, but was ultimately losing the exchanges. Victor and Rotator firmly took control after around a minute, and then it became pretty much academic as Jackpot was beaten into submission.
Yeah, it was a Rotator beatdown. Like, that was what else can you say about it?
Yeah. I mean, Rotator is very, very difficult to fight, especially when it's using its undercutter configuration like that as well. Jackpot, great machine in its own right, especially considering that it's built on a budget. But ultimately, yeah, this was not a fight that I could really see them winning.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, maybe, like, they probably could, but, like, it just, I don't know. Like, Rotator isn't the easiest robot to fight under pretty much any circumstances.
Especially when you consider just how elite a driver Victor Soto is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like he's brilliant at baiting the trap as well, like using those forks to line up a hit with the undercutter too.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like hopefully, like Jackpot really needs to get something going, like because it has not had a good season so far.
Yeah, I believe it's 0-2, isn't it?
0-2, yes, and its first fight was not very good, so they're gonna need to throw up in the next two fights if they want to even scrape into the tournament.
Yeah, because this is the thing. I don't think they failed to reach the tournament at any point since their debut, have they?
No, yeah, like they've always made it like somewhere in the tournament.
Yeah, but so far they've had 2 losses, and they were 2 bad losses as well. So this could work quite badly against them.
Yeah, we could see some new blood in the tournament this year, if Jackpot can't make it in.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost certain that we're going to see Claw Viper in the tournament for the first time. So
this is inverse Claw Viper.
Alright, up next, Big Dill versus Scorpios, a fight that seemed like it was going on its way to a potential upset before unfortunately sputtering out after This one was just unfortunate, wasn't it, Matt?
It was. Okay, so Big Dill, practically dominated, I want to say 80-90% of the fight. Scorpio's got some good hits in there too, and some good control as well, but, Big Dill was just all over them for, the majority of the fight, and effectively, it took, Big Dill, it took one collision with, the, what do you call it? It's not quite a wall, but, a little ledge, I guess? Yeah, it took one collision with that, near the, sprues to, just essentially knock themselves out. And
yeah, it's a really unfortunate thing as well, because like you said, they were dominating the fight up to this point. They debuted their new vertical spinner configuration, and it was actually working out quite well. They were doing a great job at controlling the pace of the fight, and considering that they were up against Scorpios, that really says something. And then it just putters out.
Yeah, hopefully this is something they can fix, because I don't want this to be a reoccurring thing, because they finally got the robot good.
Yeah. So, a victory for Scorpios, but not one of their better victories. They were on the back foot for most of this fight under Big Dill's tenacity, and had this gone to a judges, then I honestly don't see Scorpios having won this.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for Big Dill, they couldn't last the distance before something in them broke.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just one of those sad things that, it's one of those things you just can't control, because sometimes something breaks, and yeah, you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah. It's a shame, though, because, yeah, Big Dill, much improved from previous outings as well.
Yeah, I have high hope for it now. I think it could be a contender.
Right. Up next, we have Banshee versus Valkyrie.
And up next we have the main event. And we ran back that same joke because this was practically the same fucking fight.
Yes.
This
Okay,
fight
so
kind of blew.
Valkyrie brought in a large fort configuration, and Banshee came in with what I call the Lucky configuration because it it was basically a green version of Lucky from Lucky's fight.
Discount Lucky. But this is not a good morning for Lucky. This is a bad morning.
Oh, man. Now, Banshee started out the stronger of the two with a box rush, and from there, it kind of just... Okay. It's like, Mac, do you have any actual notes for this fight? Because, in terms of the action, because I've got mid-fight, meh. I didn't really enjoy this fight at all.
My only note was that fight also blew. I did not care about this fight.
Yeah, mine just says mid-fight, meh, don't care who wins. Like, I was rooting for Valkyrie, to be fair, but I just didn't enjoy this fight.
It's like...
I'm not trying to, not trying to be overly harsh on the teams and anything like that, but, sometimes you've just got to call a spade, and when a fight is bad, just say, okay, this is a bad fight, I'm not interested.
Yeah, like, cause Banshee... yeah, I mean, Banshee, had a good fucking start, but, it's just... They got some decent flips in, but, not great. It's just not a good fight. It's just straight up, it just wasn't a good fight. I hope that Banshee can get better. Cause, they have very good speed. They're practically fucking Claw Viper levels of speed. But they don't have the power or, anything to really work with, to take advantage of it.
Friend of ours said, Leanne, without Leanne, the Valkyrie team just isn't the same and would have won with better driving.
True.
And I hope that the new captain does manage to get everything dialed in over time. But yeah, it's a big uphill battle at this point.
Yeah. Hopefully this is just... I don't want to keep saying, oh, you get the rust out. But, just... I guess this is, one of those learning seasons for, the new captain.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfair to judge robots based off of one fight, which I realize is kind of hypocritical for me to say. But, it's yeah, I feel like we're just going to have to try and be patient here. Valkyrie is a former standout bot, and I think they can come back over time. And hopefully Banshee improves as well, but I don't know. So far, I'm not feeling him.
Yeah, this just wasn't a fun fight. Also, Banshee's team are kind of dorks. The guy with the sword at least anyway, but he's having fun. He's having fun.
Crying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're a dork, but so are we. So who are we to judge?
I mean, to be fair, we as Battlebots fans are pretty much all dorks. So
yeah, true facts. So you know what? Yeah, you know what? Live your best life, dude. Live your fucking best life.
Okay, finally, we come to the main event of the week, the rematch of the century, the return, as I stated before, the return of Hydra's Revenge 2, The Reckoning. Hydra versus Tantrum.
Oh god, I forgot to mention before, after the big deal match, so after that match, they add a really good hype package for the Hydra Tantrum fight. And it was so fucking good, probably the best of, any Battlebots promos.
Yeah, that was definitely a fantastic hype package, and they really did a great job of building up to the main event with it.
Yeah, you could feel the tension.
Yeah. Rematch of the century, extremely even on paper, a match that could go either way. We saw Tantrum just barely defeat Hydra last time, and that was a very, very controversial decision. And whether or not this fight would change anybody's mind would be, well, it probably wouldn't change their minds in regards to how they actually feel the previous fight went. But, this was the fight to really cement Tantrum's legitimacy as the champion, even though it has, technically speaking, already lost to Minotaur.
Yeah.
Of course, that doesn't mean it lost its title, but like a lot of people would call Minotaur the champion in waiting with that in mind.
Quotation marks. I mean, also lost the fucking endgame, so,
Yeah, this is true. As a result, that's why Endgame is the number 1 seed, alongside having won the Golden Bolt tournament.
Yeah.
In any case, there was a lot of tension going into this fight. Hydra came out of the gate super aggressive, but Tantrum a lot more controlled rather than zipping about like it normally does. And with its forks versus Hydra's piano key wedgelets, won the ground game very convincingly and very quickly. Managed to get a bunch of hits in on Hydra's vulnerable underbelly, and ultimately that gut punch was what ultimately knocked Hydra out cold.
Yeah, they did it. I was about to say they avenged themselves. I mean, I guess in a sense they did avenge themselves, but like very clean victory. Very well earned one too, and they were very happy.
Yep. Jake was a very good sport about the loss on this occasion, which makes sense since this time he was actively KO'd rather than losing an incredibly tight decision last time. Jake, we love you as the bad guy, and it's honestly nice to see you be such a good sport about this loss as well.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping that Hydra still performs super well.
Yeah, it was nice to see.
We've still got great stuff to come.
Yeah, it was nice to see him be humble, like for once.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. We know that Jake's whole bad guy thing is an act. We know he's actually a really nice guy. Nobody has a bad thing to say about Jake as a person.
Oh, absolutely.
And honestly, he plays the heel really well.
Yeah, that video package was like him being a heel, like, to the max. It was so good.
Yeah. And then when the actual fight is over, he's as humble as can be.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he's a guy you love to hate rather than a guy you just hate.
Yes. Like,
in any case,
someone else.
In any case, props to Team Hydra for taking the loss like a champ, and props to Tantrum for winning like a champ. So, with that, we come to the end of the episode this week, Mac. We can now do our weekly awards. Shall we start out with Best Driver?
Yes. You have your awards written down, right?
That's right. We had Tantrum for Best Driver this week for very convincingly defeating Hydra.
Yep. Yeah, he did it. I don't know what to say today. It's weird.
And let's see. For Best Loser, we had this week Big Dill. Best performance in a losing effort.
Yeah,
but for sportsmanship, we've got Jake Hewitt for sportsmanship on that for the other side of Best Loser.
Of course.
So well done to Big Dill. We hope to see more improvement from you moving forward. Now we've got a triple whammy of awards. We have the Spike Dudley Award, the Knockout of the Night, and the Fight of the Night. Spike Dudley Award, aka the Underdog Award, we are giving to Ripperoni.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yep, Ripperoni for their massive from underneath victory over Endgame, and Knockout of the Night as well for the severity of the damage inflicted on Endgame. Endgame tough as an old boot, and its frame just got completely warped by Ripperoni's massive flywheel hits. And ultimately, the most dramatic bout of the night as well. So, handily winning Fight of the Night in this case. It was a knockdown, drag-out brawl that may have had a funky start, but oh my god, what a fight it was to watch.
It was perfection. Like, it was pretty much everything you wanted from, like, a surprise victory.
Yep. So, in this case, in this week, few could out Pizza the Hut.
So many pizza balls.
I will make that joke as many times as I need to.
God, I haven't watched Baseballs in so long.
With that, we have finished our coverage of the actual battles this week. Mac, do we have anything for the off-topic segment?
No. I mean, unless you have something.
I'm afraid not. My personal life at the moment is in a little bit of a standstill, and thus I have not been really consuming that much media. So, I do not have anything for the off-topic segment this week.
Okay, well, it's an off week this week. Off-topic week this week.
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll find something for next week, won't we, Matt?
Hopefully, yeah. Because, oh god, I don't know if anything comes out. Cause like a Dragon Ethan doesn't come out for like 2 weeks.
Oh, that's totally going to take up the coverage when we get to that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. For those who haven't played it yet, buy it. You will be glad when it comes out. It's going to be awesome.
Yep, and neither of us are going to play that Harry Potter game, so that's out.
Yeah, we're just going to sidestep this and not discuss that at all because it's just going to result in Anyway, so with that, we come to the end of the episode. Until next time, he's Mac, I'm Jack. Take care. We love you. Stay safe.
Goodbye.